Vishatsi.
And I'm back.
Oh.
Yep.
Yay.
Yes. So I missed what Gomi said to Sylph there.
Gomi would have just said to Sylph, like, if she realised he was a bit there, like, what do I do? She would have gone, like, shoot this thing in front of me. And that's what he shot at.
Okay. So 11 hits. And 7 points of piercing damage kills it.
And with my movement,
Yep.
let's see. I'll run back over right next to Ella here, and that'll be it.
Okay. Gomi, it's your turn. You're not in bear shape anymore.
What's the rules on dragging somebody? Like, if I was to grab Silence and drag him while he's prone?
I would say that basically halves your available movement. So it's like going over difficult terrain.
Okay, that's fine with me. And is this square here, is that impassable?
No, I would say that's passable. That looks more like leaves on the ground to me.
Okay, well, Gomi will move to here, grab Silence, drag him back to there, and cast Cure Wounds on him. If that's all part of movement, or is that count of attack for dragging him?
I'll say no, that's fine.
Okay.
You can do it as part of your movement and sort of combination. Seeing as you're dedicating your entire turn to that.
Yep, and you're back up to 5, and Gomi will just shout, we need to pull back. I can pelt it from a distance.
Thank you.
Okay. Silence, it is your turn.
I will run straight back in. No.
Don't worry, guys, I got this. Boomf.
Yeah. No. I'm gonna move back here.
Gomi will shout if you go past and find an axe.
Find an axe, yes. There is actually an axe on the map.
There is, but you don't know that. You never went in there.
Yeah.
Sylph might know where an axe is. He did used to live here.
You sort of know that general area is the blacksmiths. But, yeah. Do you do anything with your standard action, Silence, or...?
No.
Well, he was prone, to be fair, so he'd have to stand up anyway.
Yeah, okay. Ella, your turn.
I'm gonna hand that other alchemist potion to Sylph.
Yep.
And cast Minor Illusion, and because of my magic skull, I think I can create an image and a sound.
Yep.
So I'm gonna make a 5-foot fire right in front of the tree and make it roar as loud as I can to maybe make it think there's a firewall in front of it.
Okay, the tree doesn't seem to react.
Okay. That was a waste of a spell.
In your defense, how would you know if a tree reacts? It's not a normal thing you'd see, really, is it?
And so, 1,
Oh, I guess that works.
2...
No!
Yeah, it moves through. And
Okay.
Fuck.
it will make 2 attacks, because it has 2 vines, against both Ella and Sylph. So, the first one will be against Ella, second one against Sylph.
Oh.
Sadly, definitely hits Ella, and that would be a 14 against Sylph.
Miss.
Okay. Which means it takes 1 second, just need to scroll back up.
Ella!
Yep, 2d6 plus 4.
No. Oh no.
Ella.
I'm unconscious.
Oh, God.
Oof.
Ella goes down. You sort of have this moment of looking up and seeing this huge vine coming down at you, sort of thinking, maybe the library wasn't so bad.
Shit.
If I'm allowed to, before we switch over to Sylph,
Yep.
Omi would shout at Sylph, "Grab Bella, get the fuck back."
You can do that.
That's the plan, Stan.
Sylph, it's your turn.
Yep. I will use every bit of my turn to drag or carry Ella
just pick her
since
up.
she's small.
But Ella is small enough where you can pick her up.
Okay. Then I will attempt to move the full 35 feet back I can to right here with Ella in tow.
Coming.
And well, I guess that's my movement and my action, right?
Yep.
Okay.
I would say you dedicate your full turn to that, and yeah, it doesn't provoke an attack of opportunity.
Cool.
Go me.
Gomi will pull back next to Silence and say, "You should have gone a bit further than that." And fire
I know,
produce
man.
flame at him.
Okay. Fire, produce flame at it.
12.
Christ. 12 hits. Barely.
4 damage. I can hear you there being like, do I just go with what his DC actually is, or do I do DM hacks, or...
The fire definitely seems to be the way to go. You know, just from the way the flame hits against the trunk and sort of burns and shrivels the leaves and sort of vines hanging off this tree, that it is doing far more damage than attack normally would.
Yep. Well, after seeing them do that with a flaming pots, so I'm like, look, fall the fuck back. Like, you got to 30
Silence.
feet.
It is your turn.
You give me one. I already used it.
Yeah,
Before
I am
so
going to
that
bounce.
got me killed. Yeah.
Let's see.
Yes.
This is.
You didn't put it
Yeah. I am sort of curious about this thing. I don't know what that is.
1 second while I zoom in. Oh god, this causes roll 20 to freak out.
That's a weapon of some sort.
What, this thing?
Yeah.
It's hard to tell.
I will take a look at it in a second. Meanwhile, Ella,
Yep.
it is your turn. I need a death saving throw.
Excellent.
Fail.
That is 1 tick.
Okay.
That's still twice as good as my death save.
Yeah. Thanks. Being
Taking
positive.
a closer look at that, Silence, I will say it's nothing. It's like a pile of sticks, looking at it closer.
Really? I can see that from that distance?
It's only 30 feet.
Well, I mean, it's lying on the floor, like it's not sticking up or anything, so...
Alright.
Plus, you guys were over there not that long ago.
I think he was more thinking it might have been an axe.
No, it definitely isn't an axe.
Alright.
It is now the tree's turn. And it will move 1, 2...
Get ready for me to be downed.
Oh god.
This thing literally only has 10 feet of movement. It's just you guys never seem to move more than 2 squares away.
Yeah, that's what I was trying to get everyone to fall the fuck back. But like, Silence hanging out with his arse out, so I did what Gomi would do.
The tentacle that you now sort of expect comes slamming down towards you. Does a
Shield
13
up.
hit?
No, 14.
Okay, you manage to just barely scrape past and sort of dodge this huge slamming tentacle which comes down into you. You see now all three of the vines have combined into one, so you get the sense that if this hits, it will outright kill you, the amount of damage this thing will do.
The good job I didn't use my orc thing. Unless, of course, this bypasses that.
Yeah. Also, what the fuck use will an axe be?
But it's better than nothing.
1d4, and then you're dead.
Sylph, it is start of your turn.
And you have that alchemist pot that Ella gave you right before she cast the illusion.
Well, I thought you only gave me one.
That you already threw.
Yes.
And then I gave you another one.
Did you?
Yes.
Are you sure?
Does anybody else remember that?
Yeah, you have got one on you.
Yeah,
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay.
Sure.
she gave you one before the combat started, which you never really used.
Yeah, he used the one off before combat actually started, but then when she was up there before she got knocked out, she gave you the other one.
Yeah, she did.
Okay. My bad. 2 seconds. Let me get that set up.
Have I lost you guys again, or has it just gone quiet?
Just
Nope.
quiet.
Okay,
Sorry, my bad.
no, it's all good.
And
We've been playing for nearly 7 hours now.
Yeah.
yes, we have.
And you thought it'd only take 4.
Let's see. So from this guy,
You-
yep. I'm just seeing where I need to move. So Sylph will move up here and chuck another alchemist's fire.
So,
There we go.
14 hits. Oh,
Yes?
it lets out a ear-splitting shriek. The flames cover it, now becoming darker, more violent. It, before your eyes, as you guys sort of back up, as the heat from this becomes intense, like too close to stand towards, it crumbles and bursts into flame. The mist from all around the village gets sucked up into it. The villagers also sort of getting pulled in and sort of disappearing into this burning tree, and until it burns down and there is only in the middle of this ash you see, sort of nestled in among all this dark burning ash, what looks almost like a dark avocado, which you can only presume is the seed that Willow mentioned to you.
Awesome. Well, Gobi will let out a roar and say, "You're next, you necromantic scum." And then she'll turn around and go over to Ella and use her last spell of the day, which is for Cure Wounds.
Okay.
Have 11 health back.
Thank you. I feel great.
Ella, you come to. It's suddenly a lot clearer, and you can actually see the sun. This place still has sort of a very grim and dark feel to it, but an actual sort of evil presence in the air has disappeared along with the mist.
And the spirits?
The spirits are gone.
Well, Gomi will go grab the seed and we'll say to everybody, "Look, I'll carry this thing. If it starts to turn, I'll just set the fucking thing on fire."
Sounds great.
Yep.
And then I guess Gomi would go to talk to Sylph and say, "Well, we did it. Your friends can rest."
by happenstance, I managed to ramble into this blacksmith and find an axe.
Awesome.
Yeah.
You do. You actually find a hatchet-like hand axe. And yeah.
Which I'm gonna add to my inventory.
Well, Gomi will also say, well, now that we're done here, we should head back with haste. Let's just wrap up whatever we need to do here, and then leave.
Loot the houses.
Sylph.
That's disrespectful.
Yes.
Sylph instantly puts his hands out and says, "No, we leave now. That's it. You don't need to see any more of this place." And Sylph walks out, assuming everyone else will follow him.
Gomi definitely will.
Yeah, I'm just gonna grab this axe.
Are you guys sure? I am playing my friendly GM card, and I am asking this only once this entire campaign.
And I will say this, that Sylph said that and just left not looking back.
Ella's gonna look.
I want to have a look.
Well, Gomi would at least walk with Sylph to make sure he's not on his own, and will perhaps say once they're a bit further down the road, like, they aren't coming, but we should wait for them.
He's a hunter. He can take care of himself in the woods.
Not when he's that injured.
It's, to be fair, you know that Moss is not far outside the village.
Oh, okay.
And you haven't really seen anything else living in this place.
Did you just leave?
Look at me waltzing around.
Well, Gomi would still try and catch up to Sylph to stop him just leaving straight away without everyone else, because it's way too dangerous. But if the other two don't follow and end up dying, well...
You guys, I will say, Moss sort of waits patiently. I do have a list of loot, which I will post up after the session, but you guys search everything and sort of, go through a lot of the buildings. Question to Ella and Silence, noting that Sylph isn't here, do you go into the building in the top right?
No.
No. No. Gomi is guarding it.
No, Gomi's... oh, yeah. Gomi Bear is there in spirit.
Go in there. No, that house was clearly where Sylph maybe grew up. Maybe that was his mother, or maybe that's his wife or daughter. I don't know. So I'm gonna leave that.
Okay. You turn over everywhere else. It's not as if stuff was hidden here. This was a peaceful village, and not much stuff, like no adventurers have ever come here. Not even sort of bandits or grave robbers have dared enter this place. So you find what few things sort of remaining of value you can, and then you head off to rejoin the others.
I feel dirty.
As you should.
To be fair, Silence, battlefield looting is something that you have participated in before.
It was actually really common medieval times.
Yeah.
Even lords did it back then, so you're okay.
To the victor goes the spoils. This is sort of, you're used to this as part of life.
Yeah, well, let's just say I'm not gonna flaunt it around the elf. That would be in poor taste, I think.
You like this ring I found on your neighbor?
Yeah.
Hey, this locket has a picture of you in it.
God. Yeah, I think
no.
I'm gonna sell that. Bye.
you guys turn this place over and sort of take what you can find, and you rejoin with Moss. And sort of, through quick enough travelling, much in the same way.
I think we lost Rose again.
No, I'm still here.
Nope.
Okay, I will come back to that. I've just been whispered something. I will let you know, person. Well, Lime, I wonder who it was.
Well, it certainly wasn't me.
Damn it, I just messed up again. Voices. I've got so many voices telling me what to do. No, so with Moss,
you confused us earlier, I know who it was.
Yeah. You return to Moss and sort of through the very sort of similar way of travelling back through the forest, you return to the grove. And
HP regenerating right now.
Once you get to the grove, sort of druids step forward and they offer you healing and sort of curative aid, and you all sort of heal back up.
So we're now back with Willow.
You are now back, and sort of Willow is there waiting, this time in her normal form from the beginning, no glamour.
Gomi would have just walked straight there. She would have turned down the healing and just said later and gone straight to Willow.
Okay.
And would have gone straight to her and said, "It's done. The cursed seed is truly an abomination."
Do you show her the seed?
Yep.
Okay. She, much like with the book, she pulls it to her, and sort of it floats in front of her. And her eyes again glow this golden amber, and this seed burns with a similar flame, and it finally crumbles and disperses and is burnt. And she lets the ashes fall into the pond, and sort of, this time they do cause ripples, but they sink and they fall into the bottomless depths of this clear pond. You can't eventually see them. Her eyes still glowing golden, she turns to the four of you, and suddenly you find yourselves transported to a different place. You get the feeling that this is a vision rather than an actual physical transportation. You don't feel like you are anywhere different. You are on an ancient battlefield. Around you, thousands, tens upon thousands of men, elves, dwarves, halflings, whatever race you can imagine. They lay dead or dying. The sky is red with fire and soot and blood. And you see on a far hill a figure, much like Willow herself, pushing 10, 12 feet tall, dressed in dark armor of a style that you have never seen before, a very dark green, almost black, glassy-like in its appearance. And you sort of hear Willow's voice rather than actually see her. And she says, This is Mori Ened Enciosa. He was an old Fey Lord, dark, twisted, the winter to our summer. He saw what the races of man were doing, the violence, the chaos, the death, the destruction that so many are fond of. And he grew angry, and he grew bitter, becoming more tainted and twisted as more and more blood was spilled. He perceived the mortal races as doing nothing but bringing death and destruction, and so he sought out their death and destruction, their total death and destruction. We, few Fey Lords of that period, we gathered together, and with as much energy as we could muster, we sought to cast him down. The battle was long and hard, but finally we triumphed, although it cost the lives of many of my friends. I thought he had been destroyed, but it appears that in his bitterness he prepared for this eventuality. These trees you have seen and fought, they are his children, his priests, and his altars. Their congregations, these puppets, they are part of a dark, foul magic that he has been creating for aeons now. Every person killed and fed to a tree in this manner has their soul trapped by him, consumed by him, in a twisted perversion of divine worship. He uses their very essence and belief to power his own dark magic. He seeks a physical form again. He seeks an ability to return, whether on this realm or the Feywild. He wants that foothold. Right now he is working through shadowy agents, spies, cultists. The dark corners of the world turn. And his eyes appear to have fallen on Whitehearth. Whatever is happening, whatever plots are in motion, that is where events are destined to happen. And it will be soon.
Then we shall return and face them.
You will need aid for this, although I cannot offer much. I can offer you these items, and floating to the top of the pond you see several items arrayed in front of you. 1 second while I find them.
I straight away pick up the M60.
You wish.
I'll build a back brace for it so that I can put it on the back as a bear and Ella can wield it.
That'd be amazing.
I'll jump in the helicopter and,
I'll become a bear V.
You find, and sort of floating to the top, a ornate dark green quiver with silver embroidery.
Wonder who that's for.
Looking at it, it looks to have compartment for 3 separate things. On a traditional quiver, this would sort of be arrows, javelins, and bows. And sort of motioning it and sort of picking it up and moving it towards Sylph, she says, "This is the quiver of Elona. It will provide you with many arrows as necessary. It can also store bows, staffs, or javelins. May it aid you, and may your guidance always be true."
So is that just like a quiver of never-ending arrows then?
Not never-ending, but whereas a normal quiver can hold 20, this thing can hold like 80.
Damn.
Cool.
So Sylph gladly accepts it and says, "Thank you, fate creature. It's whatever we can do to help each other against this abomination, this horrible, horrible thing."
The next thing she picks up, and this she directs to Gomi, is a beautiful wooden shield, shaped like a leaf, with polished amber, and sort of, upon touching the wood, it feels warm and also sort of almost still green, still living. And she sort of says, "This shield has been blessed by the Fae. It will guide you with protection and hopefully serve you well in the battles to come."
Okay.
The next thing she provides is a bag, looking like a normal rucksack, except extremely finely made from a dark brown leather. It has many sort of pockets and patches stepped on it, and this she presents to Ella.
Yay.
This is a bag of holding.
Yay.
It will help you store many items and many books, and I hope that its ability will help the entire group as they travel forward.
Thank you so much.
The last item is a quarterstaff, which is one perfect piece of wood. It almost looks like a still growing sapling. And she holds it up and presents it to Silence. This staff, much like the shield, is made of living wood from the Feywild. It will aid you in combat and find those weaknesses in your enemies that you maybe cannot find yourself. I hope it aids you well.
It will. Thank you.
Mechanically speaking, do we actually know what these do yet?
I'll just bluntly say, you've got a +1 shield. Silence has a +1 quarterstaff.
Okay, so it just provides +1 AC then?
Yeah, on top
Over
of the
a normal shield.
one.
Yeah, that's cool.
Also provides, I think, resistance against magic damage, possibly. And I know that with Silence, it means his attacks with it count as magical.
Right? What does that mean?
It means certain creatures, like spirits and spectres, like the ghosts you literally just saw, they cannot actually be harmed by mundane means.
Yeah.
Arrows would fly through them. Swords with magical attacks, like those dealt with a +1 quarterstaff, would actually hit them.
Also, some creatures are just weaker to it as well, like that other thing was to fire.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, so +1 quarterstaff gives you +1 to attack, +1 to damage.
Whoa.
Do I also change that one into 1d8?
If you're using the quarterstaff with 2 hands, yes.
Yeah.
You mean the additional damage on it? Because it's a magical one. Is that what you're talking about?
Well, yeah. I mean, the bow staff. I have. We changed the damage on the bow staff too.
Yeah, but so add the additional damage onto because it's magical.
Mm-hmm.
If you just change the name of it to like +1 bow staff or something like that, and then if you go to the settings of it you can add, where it says like damage 1d8 plus dex plus such and such, you can add like +1 at the end. So then what it'll do is it'll roll the damage, then add your dex modifier, then add the +1 because it's magical.
Right. Alright, we can do that later.
Yeah.
That was too complicated for me. It's 2 in the morning.
Yeah.
Right.
So I think that's probably the best place to end it for tonight's session. Can I actually say at the end here a big fucking thank you to N5? Because what you guys probably don't realise is that for most of that encounter in the Elvish village, every single time he saw a ghost, not only did he know the name of the person, I whispered him a small factoid about his history with that person.
Aww.
It was well done.
No, that's all Rose for having that shit prepared. That was great.
It was honestly, I have never tried doing that style of event before, and I think it's something I'm going to have to try in future, like for much larger groups of people, because it's such a fun way to mess with people.
Yeah.
As you sort of saw, like when you all saw Willow as someone different.
Well,
It's fun.
yeah, it's really good as well because it gives so much RP potential. Like, 'cause when we saw Willow, I was seriously thinking, like, what the fuck would Gomi do here?
Yeah. But yeah, he was getting things like, here's a good one, like the 2 elves who were trying to keep the door shut. The message I sent to him was, Beothorn and his brother Othello, barely out of childhood, and Ara, their still young female friend, often the cause of many fights between the two. You remember with sadness. Like, and he was getting that every time you saw a ghost.
And you just ran with it. Good job.
Well, yeah.
The one I will not share was the one he saw in his house. That's entirely on you.
Yep.
I will also point out there were ones you didn't see.
Yep.
Including another one inside your house.
Yep.
Great.
I was going to say something, I can't remember what it was now. Whatever.
I will also start typing up the treasure loot that Silence and Ella found.
If we've got a quick moment then and you're okay with M5, I was going to I'll like come up to you in while we're resting at this place.
Willow sort of invites you to spend the night. Despite the urgency of the current situation, you guys need it.
Mm-hmm. And yeah, I'll go over Sylph and I'll just say to him, you once asked me why I was in Whitehearth.
You've seen the reason why I'm in Whitehearth pretty clearly, I think.
I did, and I've seen that. And seen what you've been through. It's about time you knew what I did. So, well, I was in Whitehearth because my own circle sent me. They knew something would happen, the spirits told them as much. So I headed to Whitehearth. My past started long before ever going there, though. I'm, not like most Tarforks. I'm a quarter orc. And because of that, I'm not seen as equal in a tribe. I was a slave. More like something to be beaten just for the fun of it.
Not human, not orc.
Exactly. I was neither. I was trash. I had to leave. And when I did, if they ever see me again, they will try and kill me. If it wasn't for those druids, I would be dead now. My wounds were severe. I was a child. So you understand why I see them as my family.
I do, and you trusting them gives me that much more reason to trust them. That said, if your village where you're from comes for you, tell us. Or me at least. Let me know.
Oh, they will not be quiet about it. They will probably make it as public as they can. But with my new abilities, and with my knowledge that they themselves will harm nature if it suits them, I'm sure the rest of the druids would have no issue with me using my abilities on them. And I'll take great pleasure in that when that day comes.
We'll be there. You were there
Thank
for
you.
me with this. I mean, even if it was happenstance, all of you stuck by me.
Cool.
With that.
That's all I wanted to do.
Yeah, no, yeah, that would be the natural end of that.
Oh, Christ. Yeah, that was also the reason I was asking about being frightened and madness rules, because when I realised what I wanted to do with that village,
Yeah.
it's sort of like, yeah, that could easily drive someone insane.
Yeah, instantly we were like, oh yeah, these ghosts are reacting to everything that's happened before. I was like, oh, that's what you meant. Especially the way M5 was.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was the having the spirit pass through me. That was the I had to roll and I failed, and that's why I was paralyzed for a while.
He didn't there for 9 minutes until he took damage.
Speaking of which,
Honey.
so I'm not really sure where we are. Are we back at White Hearth?
No, we're at the druids circle.
Right. So, Silence goes over to Ella.
Yep.
He knows is a bookworm, and asks her if she has heard about or heard of an elf called Alador.
Yes, I have.
Really?
Yeah.
Will you tell me about him?
So like Ella just fainted.
Someone hit the table. No, he was a member of the Wizard College, and he wasn't the most well-liked guy because of what he studied. I know he was heavily involved in some spells and stuff that were not that great. Looked war magic. I mean, that's really about it. I know of him. I didn't know him.
Alright. That's good enough. Thank you.
Ella will not pry into that.
Would my shield that I've now got spare be too big for Rennie to use?
It would. It's designed for a medium person. She is small.
Yep, I thought as much, so I better ask. I'll flog that next time we're somewhere I can flog it then. Might just flog it and trade it for one for Rennie then.
Sure.
Well, I think this
Well,
is
I think... go on.
Oh, no, I was just going to say, I think this is a good time to call it for everyone's sake. And then,
Yep.
and then for loot and so on, we can do the Discord, but...
Yeah, we still have to work out last session's loot as well, like what that comes to
Yeah.
from the stuff we didn't want.
Yeah.
If we even can flog it. I like to think we just left it piled up in that little house thing that what's her face lent us.
Yeah,
Mira.
that's kind of where I think it's at.
Well, now you have a bag of holding.
Yep, we can just shove all that shit in there.
Yeah, that's very true.
Not all your shit. I will be keeping track of how much crap you throw in there.
Does the bag of holding reduce the weight of it, or is it still weight? It's
It
just,
does reduce the weight. It's an extra dimensional space.
Yeah.
yeah,
So I can
I
carry
thought as
it.
much.
Or so you can just jump in it and we can carry you in it.
Why would I
It
ever
does
do
not
that?
accept living things,
Ah, okay.
Thank goodness.
which is why I once parted with a true revenant who counted as true dead, not even sort of magical undead.
It went all robot-y.
Yep.
Not surprised by that. I am trying to do. Okay, I just have one thing I need to check, and then I will be glad to call it for the night. I will calculate XP. I'll actually be honest. There's a high chance you guys may have leveled up again.
Yeah.
That happens when you do these sort of large sessions and sort of go for all these encounters.
To be fair, I'm surprised after we got to the Druid Circle that you went on for another session.
I'll be honest, I wanted to get to that village.
Yeah. You wanted to fuck with M5.
Yep.
Okay, you're improv-ing. Here's your source. Do it.
You're a sad teenager. Go.
Hey man.
I'm wide fucking awake now. We started off bloody shattered.
Good job.
I don't know. I'm about ready to keel over.
I bet.
Yeah, well, DMing's a hell of a lot harder, so...
Hell of a lot funner, though, for me personally. So yeah, that was about 8 pages of my notes that you guys got through.
Bloody hell.
Wow.
To be fair, there was like half a page catered to the side path you guys didn't take.
Could you imagine if we did though? It'd be here till like 6 in the morning.
Oh my God.
I wouldn't have gone that far. Like, if that had happened, I would have called it with you guys getting to Mars Edge and picked it up the next day. Or sort of picked it up next session.
Phew.
But yeah.
Just give you more work this week then.
Well, I won't be able to do next week. I have an event on, which I cannot avoid.
Yeah, I'm same. Well, it's not really an event. I won't be home either.
Yeah.
Okie doke. Following week then?
Should be okay for the following week. I will confirm that in Discord.
Okie dokie. Well, good fucking game, everyone.
GG!
Oh, one more fun fact. I actually planned this overarching plotline with the dead Fey Lord before I even saw N5's backstory.
Oh, that's great.
Excellent.
Yeah.
I do like the fact it involves a druidic Fey Lord though.
And I love the
Effectively.
idea of a druidic necromancer, like a corrupted druid.
Yeah, you don't see it very often, but it makes a lot of sense.
Right, I am going to go get some sleep. Catch you all later.
See ya.
Absolutely.
Yep.
Later.
Good night,
Bye.
all. Nice.
Nice.